When we are imagining something to have it in the 3D hologram, we always ask the question of when it will happen. When will I see it in physicality in this world? When will I actually be intertwined with the desire? When will I see it with my own eyes? And the answer is when you believe that you have it. But most of you guys don't believe enough in your imaginal acts. And I can't blame you, because sometimes there are magical things that can happen when you use the law of assumption. And sometimes there is a series of events that will occur, and you will actually be astonished of how things will work out. Because you will say that it happened because of this and that and that, not because of your imagination. This is how crazy it works. But today, I'm giving you a success story. A story that is so profound and so powerful that will give you an idea of how to actually shorten the time between the assumption and the realization of your assumption. This case is especially interesting because of the short interval of time between the application of the law of assumption and its visible manifestation. So this is the key, guys. This is the steps that you can follow to actually make it more fast. A very prominent woman came to me in deep concern. So this lady came to Neville Goddard. She maintained a lovely city apartment and a large country home. But because the many demands made upon her were greater than her modest income, it was absolutely essential that she rent her apartment if she and her family were to spend the summer at their country home. So this lady got modest income, and she was forced to just rent her apartment. So she had to do it now. She had to rent her apartment if she and her family were to spend the summer at their country home. In previous years, the apartment had been rented without difficulty early in the spring. But the day she came to me, the rental season for summer was over, and the apartment had been in the hands of the best real estate agents for months, but no one had been interested even in coming to see it. So this lady actually took physical action. She did what the logical mind would usually tell you to do. She hired the best real estate agents to find her customers who could possibly rent that home. This is what the logical mind does. It makes you take action in this physical world. And there is no problem with that. You can always take physical action. But that didn't work. So what did she do? That is what we're about to know. When she had described her predicament, I explained how the law of assumption could be brought to bear on solving her problem. I suggested that by imagining the apartment had been rented by a person desiring immediate occupancy, and by assuming that this was the case, her apartment actually would be rented. So Neville here is telling her to go to the end result, to actually feel as if her apartment is already rented, that there was a person that wanted the apartment immediately, and he got it, and she rented that apartment immediately. He didn't hesitate. That person didn't hesitate to get that apartment. And all is said and done. Everything is now as she desires. In order to create the necessary feeling of naturalness, the feeling that it was already a fact that her apartment was rented. So Neville told her to imagine that it's already done, to get that feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not in the moment that it actually happens, but afterwards, maybe a week later. So it becomes more natural to you to actually feel that it's already done. And this is one of the most important things that you can do. You can go beyond the moment of achieving your desire. Maybe a week later, a month later, a year later, you're now successful. How would you feel? You are now wealthy. How would you feel? It's been a fact for a month now. How are you feeling? You've been having that partner for a year now. How do you feel? This is living from the end, not thinking of the end. You are thinking from it, not of it. I suggested that she drift off to sleep that very night imagining herself not in her apartment, but in whatever place she would sleep, where the apartment suddenly rented, suddenly, as if it is happening immediately, like all of a sudden you have to pack up and just go somewhere else because it's now being rented. She quickly grasped the idea and said that in such a situation she would sleep in her country home, even though it was not yet opened for the summer. So she had an idea of where she would be if that apartment was already rented. She got that feeling of, you know what, I'll be there. So she is painting like the scenario in her head where the apartment is rented. This interview took place on Thursday. At 9 o'clock the following Saturday morning, she phoned me from her home in the country, excited and happy. So it actually took less than 1 day. So maybe she imagined it once, only once, and it happened. This is how quickly it can work, because she created that feeling state so like to the peak, so high to the peak that it's already done. It's an accomplished fact. It's not something in the future. It is done. Now, she told me that on Thursday night, she had fallen asleep, actually imagining and feeling that she was sleeping in her other bed, in her country home, many miles away from the city apartment she was occupying. On Friday, the very next day, so in less than 12 hours, a highly desirable tenant, one who met all her requirements as a responsible person, not only rented the apartment, but rented it on the condition that he could move in that very day. So not only she rented her apartment, but she managed to imagine the scene that she imagined so vividly to the point that it happened in 12 hours only, one night. In only one night, everything changed. She hired the real estate agents for months to find any customer, any tenant, but it didn't work. And once she imagined the end result as an accomplished fact, it happened. This is how quickly it can work, guys. If you are finding something in your life that you don't like and you want to change it, don't try to change it matter to matter. Change it energy to matter. Because the field is the sole governing agent. This is what Max Planck said. So when you change your thoughts and feelings, you are changing the material objects. So you can change the outcome in the real world if you actually merge the thought and the feeling together. This is what Neville was teaching her, to merge the thought and the feeling, and then sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Because when you sleep with an idea as something is an accomplished fact, there is no fraction between the analytical mind and the subconscious mind. You are putting it directly into the subconscious mind. You are becoming intertwined with the thing that you want. Unlike when you imagine something when you are wide awake, the analytical mind will jump in. How is this going to happen? When? Why? How? It's not possible. No, it is. Everything is possible. Everything is here and now to the right brain. So once you imagine something and you feel it to the point of acceptance and you sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it's a done deal. It will happen in your life. So here's what I want you to do tonight. I want you to listen to my guided meditation. I'll put the link in the description box. I want you to sleep to that meditation, to create a feeling state that will make you shift in the multiverse to a parallel reality where all your desires are already fulfilled. Sleep in it and watch the magic happens. And if you're asking about techniques and how you can do this and how you can do that, and what about revision, and what about affirmation, and what about all that, then you can check the ebook in the description box. I gathered all the info because I was sick of looking for techniques. I was just like you, but I changed that, and I gathered all the info in one 26-page ebook. The link is in the description box. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe to the channel, like to reach more people. Tell me down below in the comments, what do you want to see next? Check out the ebook in the description box, and until this video, I will see you soon.